Gentlemen, as we are about to begin, please take your seats and switch off your phones to avoid any interruption. Your cooperation is highly appreciated. Honored guests, respected faculty, and my dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Salamat Nangahari, a very good day to all of you. My name is Hina Noor and I will be your host for today's session. NCF is honored to have its first industry talk for 2019 and the topic is Investment Account Platform Chat and Chew. As you all know, the talk is about investment account platform in Malaysia and it will be delivered by our three distinguished industry speakers from FN Islamic Bank Berhad and investment account platform Sindarian Berhad. Before we proceed, I would like to invite Brother Hamdan to do a dua recitation. Brother Hamdan, please.
بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مباركا مرحوما وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما ولا تجعل اللهم فينا ولا معنا شقيا ولا مطرودا ولا محروما يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك نستغيث أصلح لنا شأننا كله ولا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين ولا أقل من ذلك يا نعم المجيب اللهم آت أنفسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وقنا عذاب النار وقنا عذاب النار صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Jazakallah, Brother Hamdan. Before we begin, allow me to introduce our distinguished speakers. We have with us Mr. Muzammil Muhammad Razi, Head of Stakeholder Management Investment Account Platforms in Sindarian Berhad. Then we have Madam Joan Mariam, CEO of Raees Holdings and Investment Account Platform Integrated Sindarian Berhad. And finally, we have Madam Susanna Rasool, Head of Investment and Structured Finance of FN Islamic Bank Berhad. Please welcome them with a warm round of applause. Our agenda for today is we will be discussing some topics that include structuring investment account products, investment account platforms then and now, horizon of investment account platform and investment account platforms latest offering. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live on investment account platforms Facebook page, so please go there and like their Facebook page for related information. And now, without further ado, let's proceed with this session. Mr. Muzammil.
Assalamualaikum, very good morning. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, again my name is Muhammad Razi. I'm currently in charge of stakeholder management at IAP Chat Chew for the platform. I was with the bank for the past For those who don't know what is investment account, we have two slides talking about investment account. Basically, after introduction of Islamic Financial Services Act 2013, Bangla introduced investment account, whereby investment account is basically a new way of Islamic banks locally to fund their financing assets or a new source of funding for them. Okay, of course, before this, we have got a deposit product among all local Islamic banks. You have the normal theory, whereby banks will match the usage of fund, the sources of fund from investors into the external fund, basically in funding the assets of the bank. You could see there, basically the funds that the bank gets previously under deposit, and later on an investment account are used to finance the assets in like SME financing, business financing, vehicle financing, ASD financing, mortgages and personal financing. So again, this is a new way for banks to fund their financing assets. Okay, there are two types of deposit investment account in local Islamic banks. Number one is transactional base, and the other one is investment base. If you look at the deposit account, for example, we have got the normal current account, savings account, and also current and savings account, whereby it gives a lower risk and a lower return. It tracks a lower risk and lower return. So under investment account, some banks like Maybank, for example, they also have transactional investment account in the form of savings account and also current account. Okay, those that attract higher risk will of course give you a better return. So under investment account, you have restricted account, restricted investment account, which is basically available under IAP. For Islamic deposit, of course, depositors, investors can opt for term deposit, which give around probably 3.5% to up to 4%, depending on banks. Of course, for investment account, the principals and even profit are not protected, but the deposit is protected by PIDN. However, the amount use to list their projects or financing that are given to companies on the platform, so that investors can then go to the platform and look for investment or type of asset they want to invest in. Okay, that's the role of IAP at the moment. Okay, in terms of corporate structure, you could see the 6 banks over there being the shareholder of IAP. This is also the first time where in the local Islamic banking industry, the 6 banks form a consortium and set up a company for a common business. Okay, in this case, these 6 banks form a consortium called Rai Holding, and the first business of Rai Holding is to manage and operate investment account platform. Okay, the mission of IAP is to become the avenue of choice for investment and also fundraising activities. Okay, before IAP is in the picture, basically, you know, as depositors, you put money with the bank, you put your excess fund with the bank, and the bank will of course use the excess fund to finance their financing assets. Okay, at the end of the day, after the financing assets make payment to the bank, you get pretty much nothing for the savings account and current account, and maybe some return in terms of if you put your money in term deposit. And because why? There is no risk at all, because you are basically banking on the risk of the bank managing your funds. Okay, after investment account, it is a little bit different, whereby banks are basically inviting the investors to put in their excess cash with the bank so that the bank can use the funds to finance their financing asset. In this case, finance the projects or the SMEs that need financing for working capital, for asset purchase, or for project financing. In return for the credit that the investors are taking, bank will of course share a bigger portion of the profit with the investors, sometimes up to 200 or 300 basis points higher than the return that depositors normally get under deposit.
So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I was telling the staff, our team, that it's like full circle for me because I was an INSEF student, and in all of the talks that I attended, I was the one who asked the most questions. So I said, well, I have to brace myself because it might be payback time. So, so be kind later on. So I will try to explain as much as I could. I've been with IAP about 90 days now, 90 or so days. I come from a crowdfunding background, and this is what we wanted to bring into the spirit of IAP, that this is actually the first crowdfunding initiative in Malaysia. Although it is crowdfunding, it is still backed by the banks. So it's a way of the banks to do crowdfunding. The product is regulated by Bank Negara, obviously, because it's a banking product. But in a lot of ways, it is what you commonly know as crowdfunding or crowdsourcing nowadays, where people pool an amount of money together for a common cause, basically. So in this diagram, you're going to see on my left, which are the banks, these are called sponsoring banks. You don't need to be a shareholder to be a sponsoring bank. A sponsoring bank is basically the one that does the due diligence on the projects and the ones that underwrite it. For those that are not familiar with the word underwriting, it means that they are guaranteeing that they have the funds for the total need of the project. However, it will be opened up for investment for the people so that underwritten amount may not be utilized in full. Our hope is that what we are offering is that our platform is robust enough to be able to ensure that from individuals, which is the crowd of investors underneath, either retail investors, either corporates, or either institutions, we have enough, we are confident enough to fund the due diligence done by the banks so that they don't have to then reserve all of the funds specifically for that. We will have a very specific case in point later on, which is what is actually live in the platform right now. So as Muzamir explained, the project ventures is the project, the ones needing the money. Our hope is that we increase and we are available for many people in Malaysia, this is a Malaysian platform, to apply in the platform itself, and their application goes to all of the sponsoring banks. So the SME doesn't need to fill up application forms for all of the sponsoring banks. Right now we have 5, we are about to onboard 2 more. Again, our aim is to add more sponsoring banks in that the whole Malaysian ecosystem of Islamic banks, not necessarily just banks, but any company that may want to underwrite will also be available on this side. This is the current pipeline that's available right now. It's basically project ventures to bank, and then the funding from the retail, investment, corporate or industries. We want to open another pipeline down the road where we can actually list it and it's more dynamic so that other people can also list in the platform itself. We want to be able to balance the current, how shall I say, the current competitive advantage of IAP in that unlike any crowdfunding platform, we are standing on the strong legs of the bank in their ability to do due diligence and their ability to finance because the money is actually there already. So that's this slide. So is that our ventures are able to then get rating. Some ventures value this a lot because they're new entrant to the industry and they eventually want to become a big player. So the backing of RAM at a minimal cost compared to if you were going to go to them directly is available through IAP. And these are the various RAM ratings, although it's optional, as you can see, because the one from our fourth project was unrated. It is an available option for our ventures or for those that are raising funds. We've had experiences where they've joined because they just want to be rated, so that then their succeeding fundraising will be easier. So that serves a purpose as well. The second to the last line under individual investors are the individual investors relative to the corporate investors. So you can see a mix of individual investors and corporate investors as well. Okay, so our platform has had 3 awards, project-based, that was recognized. Our sponsoring banks are as follows, and as I've said, we do want to increase this to basically for applying. We want to grow the banks, the sponsoring banks. They need not be a shareholder again. We are approaching several banks that who are looking to join us right now. It's quite a tedious process because they do have to then go through the whole Bank Ligaya regulations and applying and whatnot. So we are also trying to facilitate that as well.